All right, welcome back to part 4, which is choosing your business model. So your unique business model and the feel-good philosophy, that's exactly what we're talking about today. So one of the biggest pieces leading to entrepreneur burnout is using a business model that is not customized and not suited to your particular taste, personality, strengths, and weaknesses. It is critical to build a business model that is based on feeling good, rather than keeping you in a cycle of scarcity and deprivation that most of us are used to when we try to make things happen. So an example of this is, really quickly before we dive into the lesson here, is, launching versus evergreening your product. So lots of people have gotten into this idea that, the only way to make money is to launch something all the time. But launching is stressful. Launching requires help. It requires team. It requires a lot of content. It requires a lot of effort and energy. And maybe you're just not suited for that. Maybe it's better for you to create a product that is always available and always for sale all the time. So that's just one little example. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through essentially the top business models in online business and help you create and choose one that feels really, really good for you, right? Then one that's going to be sustainable, one that's going to be able to, work with you and your personality and your traits and your bandwidth and whatever you have going on, right? I have one client who's ill. She has, she has some sicknesses that don't allow her to be able to do, one-on-one type work, right? So she's creating a business model that is a publisher model, what we call a publisher model, where she's creating courses and books and free content and getting her clients and customers that way. So really, it's really going to depend on who you are, where you're at, and what you like about each model. So I'm going to go through each one of these. But honestly, if you get this right, right, and you have a proven model, your business will thrive and you can double, triple, or 10x your business based literally on what feels good and what allows you to shine. And it's different for everyone else. That's why I'm going to go through this with you guys. Now, the feel-good philosophy, I just want you to know what I mean when I say that, because you're going to hear me say that a lot, is doing what feels good and not doing what doesn't. That's literally it. Because a lot of times in business, we feel like I have to do this, or I should do this, or so-and-so told me I need to do this, or this guru tells me I need to do this. No. You need to only do what feels good for you and what feels right for you. The same thing with this program. I tell people all the time as they go through this program, take what feels good for you and leave the rest, right? That is how you're going to create a business that's not only sustainable, but that feels good, right? So that is the feel good philosophy. Like I mentioned, you'll hear me say that a lot, and it's just doing what feels good and not doing what doesn't. So let's go through the different types of business models. And essentially what I want you to do, and you'll find this on your workbook. So if you want to get your workbook out and kind of go through this with me, this will really help you clarify which business model is right for you. And at the end of this, I do want you to choose just one for this next 8 weeks. After the next 8 weeks, you can take everything that you learn and apply it, to something different. But for the next 8 weeks, I want you to choose one so that we're super focused and, again, repeatable processes. You want to do one, for one product, and you want to do another for another product. Totally, totally cool. All right. So first things first is one-on-one coaching. Yay. We all know about this, right? So the pros of one-on-one coaching are you learn a lot about your ideal client. You work with your client intimately. You can also charge higher fees. And the coaching is fully customized for each client. So I love typically everyone to start with this, unless they have something that, really makes this not a viable choice for them. But I think it's a really great place to start. It's a really great place to start because you don't need to have a huge audience. You just need to know a couple people. You need to know how to reach those people, which we're going to dive into in Module 3. You learn so much about your ideal client. You get to work deeply and intimately with them. And like I mentioned, you can charge more money. So if you're really trying to start up your business, instead of, charging for a smaller DIY program or a book or something that's just a few dollars, you can charge higher fees up to, thousands and thousands of dollars for your one-on-one coaching. The cons of one-on-one coaching is you're still trading hours for dollars, and it's not scalable. You only have so many hours in a day. You can only work with so many clients before you get burnt out. So like I said, this is a really good beginning step, but I don't think it's a long-term sustainable way to run a business. So what I want you to do based on the pros and cons is in your workbook, rate this model based on your big picture vision, what we created before. So if your big picture vision involves you working 15 hours a week and going on vacation every month, you might not have a whole lot of room for one-on-one coaching, right? So really think about that and rate this based on your big picture. The next model is group coaching. So group coaching, I love. I think group coaching is amazing. And so group coaching, I just want to distinguish, is a little bit different than a course. So right now you're in a course or a program, whatever language you want to use there. Group coaching typically does not have a curriculum. So group coaching is essentially like one-on-one coaching, but in a group setting. So it's a smaller group, 5, 10, maybe 15, 20 people, really depends. But there is less content and curriculum and more just hands-on coaching. You're in, a group setting. So the pros of that are you can work one-to-many. So it can be one of you, 10 other people in 1 hour versus working with 10 one-on-one coaching clients. That's about 10 hours. You can leverage your time. You can leverage your community. There is accountability built in because there is that community and there is that small intimate group. So those are the pros. Cons are you really have to know your ideal client well enough to create a solution that could be delivered in a group. So really depending on what you do people actually want this type of coaching in a group setting? Some people don't. Some people are really private. If you're doing let's say like sex coaching or relationship coaching, some people like to keep that to themselves. They may not feel comfortable doing it in a group setting. Not saying that it can't be done. I've totally seen it done, but that's just one of the objections that you might get. So pros, you can work one-to-many, leverage your time. There's community accountability. Cons, you really have to know your ideal client well enough to create a solution that can be delivered in a group effectively. So I want you to rate group coaching based on your big picture. I want you to rate this model on a scale of 1 to 10. Next is consultant. So again, a little bit different than one-on-one coaching. The lines get a little blurred between consulting and coaching. Coaching, essentially, you are helping your clients find the solutions on their own by asking questions and listening. Consulting, you're pretty much telling your clients what to do. So consulting, typically is more like in the marketing, business type of field, financial, that kind of stuff. So pros are you can charge higher fees. You can charge even higher fees than coaching with consulting. You can tell your clients what to do. You literally have a proven formula and you say, hey, this is what you need to go out and do to get XYZ result. The cons of this are you must have proven experience doing whatever you're consulting on. So you can't just wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I want to consult on this with no background, no basis, no experience, no proven formula. So pros, you can charge higher fees. You tell your clients what to do. Cons, you must have proven experience doing whatever it is you're consulting on. So now I want you to rate this model based on your big picture on a scale of 1 to 10. Next is done for you. Done for you is fantastic. I love done for you, right? It's just a little bit of a different business model. And again, it really depends on your industry and what you do. This may or may not work for everyone. So pros are there's no one-on-one work. So you're not getting on the phone with somebody every hour or every week for an hour. This is also really great for independent workers. So if you can get a project or get a task, go off and do it for someone and then deliver the product or the end result, this is a perfect business model for you. Cons, you and or your team must do all the work. It could be really labor and time intensive, and your clients may not like or agree with the finished product, so there may be some back and forth there. So done for you model, pros, there's no one-on-one work, great for independent workers. Cons, you and or your team must do all the work. Could be labor or time intensive, and you may have to go back and forth on the finished product. So now I want you to rate this model based on your big picture. Next is what I call the publisher model, which I mentioned earlier, which is creating courses and books. So essentially you're an author, you're creating the content. So this is for someone very much like me who just loves to create content. I love writing, love creating content, love coming up with new things. So the pros, no one-on-one work, right? So just like we're in this program together, you're getting access to me, you're getting access to the content from me, but there's no one-on-one calls involved. So there's no one-on-one work. You can serve a lot more people at one time. You could spread your message further and make a bigger impact. So those are some pretty awesome pros. Cons are you must create a lot of content. So if you're not somebody who's, does that easily, this may be difficult for you. Next, you must reach a lot of people. So this, again, is not something that I would recommend right off the bat if you don't already have an audience, if you don't already have, a couple people that are interested in what you're doing. And then the other con is lower price points. So it's because there's no one-to-one work, it's going to be at a little bit of a different price point than if you were doing one-on-one consulting or done for you. So based on that, I want you to rate this model based on your big picture on a scale of 1 to 10. Next is a membership site. Again, another thing I absolutely love and recommend for everyone in their business at the right time. Some people do this too early. Some people do this without having that audience. And it's a great business model. I think everyone can do it, but you've got to have an audience of people who are ready to buy. So pros, recurring monthly revenue. That means every month you're getting paid. Every month this money is coming in. It's great for scalability. You can absolutely scale your business once you have this in place and going. And it's great for content creators. So if you are someone that loves creating and putting out new things and creating new content and PDFs and workbooks and all that stuff, this is fantastic because then you can house all of your content and your information in one place, and then people just pay a monthly fee in order to get it. The cons are you must have a community that trusts you, because you need to have people who are willing not only to buy from you, but are willing to pay you every single month. That means every single month their PayPal bill or their bank statement is saying pay to XYZ, right? So you've got to have trust built up there with your community. There is a lot of initial setup with your VA and tech and all of that stuff. There's lots of churn. Churn essentially is people leaving. So no matter how great you are, no matter how great your membership site is, people are always going to leave for different reasons. Maybe they get overwhelmed with content. They're not using it right now. They're going in a different direction. They're, cutting back on expenses. So you have to make sure that you're always replacing the members who leave with new people. And another con, which I don't think it's a con because I love creating content, but if it's hard for you to create content, you must create a lot. You have to have a lot going on for people who are paying a monthly service fee to get access either to you or your content. So based on that, I would like you to create or to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 membership sites. All right. And finally is speaking and workshops. So essentially in-person events, whether they're small workshops that you put together, whether it's you're speaking in front of a stage, there's lots of different variables to this, but essentially it's in person, somebody's seeing you, hearing you, that kind of stuff. So pros is it builds authority fast because people can see you and they feel you and they're around your energy and they like you and they can make a decision on whether they want to buy from you pretty quickly. You can get paid high fees for speaking and for workshops. If you're putting together like an all-day workshop, you can get paid lots of good money for that. You can book new clients. If you're doing maybe you're doing a free workshop, you can book new clients. Even if you're doing a free speaking event, you can also book new clients. You can also sell from the stage in some cases. The cons, you must have credibility or else no one's really going to know who you are in order to invite you to speak, right? There's a lot of travel involved. So if you have little ones or you have a family and you can't be away that long, speaking and workshops may not be suitable unless you're in an area where, you can kind of stay local and do these things. And then it takes time to build a reputation, right? So it takes time to build up those speaking fees and being able to charge a lot of money to show up somewhere. But again, this is something that you typically know if you're the type of person that just needs to be on stage, you need to be in person. So based on your big picture, rate this model on a scale of 1 to 10. All right, so based on the ratings above, what I want you to do is come up with the top 3. What are the top 3 that you came up with? What do they look like? Is it speaking? Is it publisher model? Is it membership? Is it one-on-one? Come up with your top 3. Now, of your top 3, which one can you start implementing or are you already using in your business right away? So with this program, I want you to really utilize what you have easy access to, or that which comes easy or is exciting to you. So my answer to almost everything is it easy and is it exciting? So of the top 3, which one do you want to really dive head first in and, go all in with over the next 8 weeks? And the second question I have here is, of your top 3, which one affords you the longevity, scalability, and freedom that you desire from your big picture process? So this may be different than the question above, because right now you may be able to dive headfirst into doing one-on-one coaching or doing consulting or doing done for you, right? But long term, you may want to create products and services and maybe doing some speaking. So I want you to think of kind of the right now solution for your business model and the long-term solution for your business model. And finally, which one of these business models allows you to incorporate your zone of genius, aka your brilliance, which we figured out, in the most effective and feel good way? And I want you to choose that one business model to focus on during the next 8 weeks. And like I mentioned, doesn't mean that you have to stick to this or you're bound to this or anything like that. I just want you to really stay focused so that we can, go through these processes together. And these processes are going to be things that you can literally, wash, rinse, repeat over and over again. All right, so now we are going to dive into this week's activity, and this may be very hard for some people, maybe come naturally and easily to some people. But this week, I want you to talk to 3 new people every day this week, okay? Tell them about your business or a new project that you're working on. Tell them what you do. I want you to do this every day. By the end of week 2, by the time we get to module 3, you're going to have spoken to 21 new people and told 21 new people about what you do in your business. This is amazing. This can be in person, it can be face-to-face, it can be through email, it can be through Messenger. I want you to really keep track of that. At least 3 new people every day. Bonus, if you repeat this challenge for an entire year, that's over 1,000 people that now know about your business. 1,092 people to be exact. So, your homework. Complete your surveys, your interviews, and your market research. Identify your target market. Do your big picture process. Answer all those questions. Really get a big, nice vision for what you desire and post your declarations in the group. I want you to uncover your zone of genius and your brilliance. Tell us what that is, and also choose your business model that you're going to focus on over the next 8 weeks. You'll also notice on your workbook, you have some additional resources there. I really just wanted to give you some additional mindset resources and, some other stuff that I had that may be helpful as you go through this process. So that is it for module 2, which is the big picture process.